Hello, this is Anna and welcome back to my channel, Cottage on Oak. I wanted to share these arbors I bought off Amazon for like 20 bucks each, and I put them in my garden. They were super easy to put together. And then here is my dining room. I am preparing the house for a baby shower. I have a friend who is expecting as well. So I had to switch out bookshelves, and these are new here in the dining room. I took the plaid couch out and put it back into my garage, and I hung up this tapestry in the back, and I put up some old curtains that I had that were from Amazon. And then I made some levels on the table. I have one layer of the curtain fabric, and then I made some layers with some books and different things, and then put another layer of a curtain fabric on top of that to give some different heights and dimensions. I looked a lot of this up on Pinterest for my inspiration. It's called a grazing table. And you all know I love the moody aesthetic, and that's kind of where this led me a little bit. So this table needed a little extra something, so we decided to put this small rug that I have right under the table, and I left some of it out in front. And then we are using these planters as drink holders, so I ended up lining them with plastic bags, filling them with ice, and then putting drinks inside them for the party. And most of these items I already had on hand. The only thing in this image that you see that I bought for this was the tapestry in the background, which is awesome. And I had so much fun creating this little space for the shower. I love my little bust lady. She was such a statement piece. I ended up putting this Christmas ribbon that I have that I use for Christmas and Valentine's Day, and I just wrapped it around her neck. It's like a little moody choker, and I just loved the drapey look that it gave. Now, I did buy some of these candlesticks off of Facebook Marketplace. They were $5 each, only the ones with the dangly crystals on there. And then here I have a box of different items that I was planning on possibly using for the party. So one tip when planning a party is to gather all your items in one area and just make sure you look at them all together and see if they go well together or not. I wanted a lot of burning candles. I had to be careful though to make sure nothing caught on fire, and I was very cautious of that. So I had some cheap ones from Walmart, and then these that I am lighting here are some beeswax candles that I buy from Azure Standard. And this was not the day of the shower. I pre-burned them so they would all be at different levels for the shower. And then I also saw an inspiration for a tulle sign. So I thought I would love to have that for the shower. So I bought some tulle and this ribbon here that you see me hot gluing to it from Hobby Lobby. The tulle and the ribbon all together were $20. Here is the picture that I saw on Pinterest. And trying to hot glue something to tulle or paint something onto tulle is very, very hard indeed. So I worked on that project. I also wanted to put some flowers inside this old carriage that a family member gave to me, and also this old high chair that my husband's father gave to us. It was in his garage in a house that he bought, and it was blue, so we painted it this creamy whitish color from Walmart. So I hot glued some floral foam into the bottom of some boxes and stuck those into the high chair and the carriage. And then I stuck some faux florals into the foam. And then I had some dried baby's breath already at home in my dried flower stash. So I stuck some of that in there. And then I needed more flowers, so I went back to Walmart and got some lilies and a few more faux flowers to stick inside the flower foams to give it some more height and dimension and all that fun stuff. And then I had some of these dried hydrangeas that I picked from our other house that still has yet to sell. But we are working on that. It is a work in progress. So I also saw this lemon tower on Pinterest, I believe, and I wanted to recreate that. So I bought 2 bags of lemons and then some parsley, and that's what I'm sticking in the holes to fill in that white section you see there. And this was so fun. Now, I didn't have enough lemons, so the backside that people did not see had some white sticking out, but that was facing the wall, so nobody could pass by and see that. So I just mainly focused on the front and both sides of this little tower. I bought a foam cone from Walmart. They're like $4.80 or something like that. So this little project did not cost too much. And to stick the lemons in, I did also buy a pack of toothpicks. And some of the lemons you see I cut in half just to give them like some fun. And I loved this on the grazing table, even though no one could really eat it unless they wanted to eat a raw, stick of parsley or something random. They could, I guess. But it was more for the aesthetic and look. And it also gave the room a nice lemony citrus smell. And I love the smell of lemon. So that was also really nice. I did buy a charcuterie box. I did not just set the box out since this was a grazing table. I took those items out of the box and set them out nicely in different bowls and things like that onto the table, which made a huge difference. And is this not the most perfect bunch of grapes to lay on a grazing table? It's so like old world painting. I don't know, I just loved it. And it took me a little while to figure out where to lay the grapes at. But I had so much fun laying all these little grapes around on the table and around the candlesticks and around the food and things like that. And people were able to just pick off of the grape stem what they wanted to eat, which was fun. And also, you can only see this little man bust when you come to the side of the table, but I think it's important to make sure that at all angles of the table when you walk around that you see like something new and surprising and fun. And so that was my other idea with this table. And my wonderful niece is helping film here. She wanted to film and help out with the setup of the party, and she did such a good job. And then I put my sister in charge of filling these buckets up with ice and then putting some Pellegrino into the ice and some drinks and things like that. And so here's the table. It's almost done. We have some cheese balls set out, some crackers, cookies, all different things, candied pecans, tomatoes, carrots. My mom made these little cakes. They're so stinking cute, and they were a hit at the party. I loved that they were slightly bigger than a cupcake, and they didn't have the cupcake wrapper. They were actual little mini cakes, and I just loved it. And then I had my mom's friend make these swan cookies to set out everywhere, and those were also a hit. And here at the entrance, I sat the high chair and the little carriage as your little entrance into the party. And here's my attempt with my sister at making a TikTok video, but here's my outfit. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I loved setting up this grazing table. It was beautiful, it was fun, and I want to do it all the time. See you next time here at Cottage on Oak with Anna.